OpenClaw is all the rage nowadays, and it's not hard to see why. It can be incredibly powerful and do so much for you without relying on random companies. But if you've ever tried setting it up on a VPS, you already know the biggest problem. It's just too much hassle. What if we could change that? All you need is a Hostinger VPS subscription and this OpenClaw tutorial. Let me show you the easiest OpenClaw AI setup using Hostinger VPS. For those out of the loop, OpenClaw is a self-hosted AI assistant that runs continuously on your own server. It's not a toy, it's not for kids, and it's not free. Unlike cloud AI tools that reset after every prompt, OpenClaw AI stays online, runs tasks in the background, and responds when needed. That's why using a good VPS matters. With a proper VPS setup, your bot doesn't depend on your laptop or internet hiccups. It just works. But all jokes aside, security is also important. As of now, there are many issues that can be quite severe if you run locally. Running in a virtual environment reduces the security risk. But don't be fooled, there are security risks. So proceed with this tutorial at your own risk. The first step of how to set up OpenClaw is preparing the server. You'll need a Linux VPS, and Ubuntu is the safest choice and officially recommended OS. With Hostinger VPS, you get full root access, stable performance, and pricing that's far lower than competitors, which is why I always recommend Hostinger as the best cheap VPS for beginners. But which server to get? Well, the minimum requirements for OpenClaw AI are at least 2 GB of RAM, though 4 GB is recommended, around 10 GB of storage, and sudo or root access. And would you look at that? Even the cheapest Hostinger VPS fits our needs. And 50 GB of the fastest NVMe storage is a nice addition for this price. However, I recommend going with the KV2 server. It costs more but boosts your resources and in turn, server performance to a very nice degree. So, check out my Hostinger link in the description or scan the QR code on screen right now to grab the KV2 VPS subscription for the lowest possible price. Then I recommend you go for a 24-month billing period since it gives you the lowest monthly price. You can skip automatic daily backups since Hostinger already does automatic weekly backups for free. Then check whether the CN special code has been applied. And next comes Docker. Docker packages all OpenClaw dependencies into containers, reducing errors and speeding up deployment. On Hostinger, as you can see, OpenClaw will be auto-deployed on our VPS server, and we'll add some free credits for later use. This convenience is one of the main reasons I recommend Hostinger OpenClaw setups, even for complete beginners. Once you've bought your VPS, you can set up a root password. Now, since Hostinger is so beginner-friendly, we're not going to use this as much, maybe even never, but save it somewhere just in case. Better safe than sorry, right? We can skip SSH configurations and just complete the setup. Have a cup of tea while Hostinger is setting everything up, or you can always hit that like button while you're waiting. Just saying. What if you already have a VPS and want to set up OpenClaw? Well, click VPS in hPanel, Manage Server, Docker Manager, Catalog, search OpenClaw, click Deploy, copy and save OpenClaw gateway token and copy paste API keys into config, click Deploy, and bam, done. During installation, you'll be asked to configure credentials. This part is of course critical. First, make sure you save the gateway token since we'll need it later to log in. OpenClaw requires an API key from an AI provider like OpenAI or Anthropic. The key is stored securely as an environment variable, but it must have active billing enabled. Basically, you need another subscription on top of what you're paying for your VPS. Keep this in mind. Without billing, OpenClaw setup will technically complete, but nothing will work. Cost-wise, you're paying for two things: the VPS itself, which is cheap and has predictable fees on Hostinger, and API usage via external providers or Nexos AI, which depends entirely on how much your bot actually runs. That's an important distinction many tutorials gloss over. Usage fees can stack up really fast if you're not mindful. If you've seen a few videos about Hostinger and OpenClaw, you're probably wondering why I don't get the full API setup. Well, that's because with the Hostinger subscription, we also get Nexos AI credits. If you have Nexos credits, OpenClaw handles all the APIs in the background, making the setup even easier. As for now, your personal OpenClaw is on, but I still need to show you how to use it. You can access it through the hPanel or by typing in the URL, but it's way more convenient just to go through the hPanel. You'll log in using the gateway token generated during setup. This is where everything comes together and where you'll manage your OpenClaw agents. From here, you can connect messaging platforms like Telegram. You create a bot using BotFather. Add the bot token to OpenClaw through the command line interface, adjust privacy settings, approve the pairing, and send a test message. Or you can skip the regular process and add tokens via the interface in Age Panel, which is way easier. But you might also want to play around with CLI. Alright, once that works, your OpenClaw VPS AI will be able to respond in real time. Now that you all want different things running in your OpenClaw, I won't go into a detailed tutorial on how to connect social media or other apps. However, I don't need to, since the chat works like 24/7 support. You type in the platform you want to add, and you get step-by-step instructions on where to go and what to do. If something goes wrong, troubleshooting usually falls into a few categories. Rule number 1, spend some time reading the tool's official documentation. This will help you a lot. Container issues mean checking Docker status and logs. Authentication errors typically come down to API keys or, very importantly, billing. Don't forget that, depending on the AI model you use, billing costs can vary widely. Port conflicts can be fixed by changing the default port mapping. Access problems are often firewall or network related. None of these are deal breakers if you know what to check or if you ask Hostinger's Cody for a little help. Oh yeah, Cody is like a virtual programming assistant on top of Hostinger's chat support and real human agents. So you're not going to be left to fend for yourself with Hostinger. And that is another big reason I recommend this provider for any project or user. Okay, so after everything is running, basic post setup management is simple. Monitor logs and performance occasionally. Update OpenClaw via one-click Docker feature when new versions drop. Rerun the setup script if needed, and keep your credentials secure. That's all it takes to keep OpenClaw Hostinger VPS running smoothly. If this video on how to use Hostinger VPS helped you, hit like, subscribe for more tech tutorials, and check the links in the description for the best current Hostinger deals. You could even share those discounts with friends. They could use an affordable OpenClaw personal agent. That's it for my quick OpenClaw step-by-step setup guide. Now go and utilize OpenClaw to organize the world. If you want more AI, VPS, and automation guides, leave a comment letting me know. I try to make these videos as useful for you as I can. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.